Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 700 of the Daily 180. I'm not really sure it's episode 700. It could be closer to episode 695, maybe it's 702. I'm not really sure. We took a little bit of a hiatus, and because of that hiatus, I'm a little out of touch with where the channel's been. So we're kind of doing this as a soft relaunch. And we're going to start with 700. Seems like a really good number to be able to go with. Today, I want to explore a concept, an idea, something that's kind of been on my mind over the last, year, really, to be very honest. And that's the concept of gratitude. Let me see if I can paint a little bit of the picture as to why this was so important and why today I feel like it's something that I want to talk about. I started today. Today's July 24th, 2024, here in Utah. That is a holiday. The holiday is Pioneer Day. It celebrates the day when pioneers came in and settled the valley and turned it from, worked the valley, worked to this area and helped it go from being kind of a desolate wasteland, a barren desert, to something now that is a beautiful place to live. We've hosted the Olympics, have a lot of people living here. It's a very pleasant place. There are all kinds of political ramifications. I'm not going to get into the political ramifications of the day. I just want to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from. Today, I'm thinking about, I was thinking about as I got up this morning, how wonderful the situation that I live in really is. And as I thought about that, I pulled out my bike. I went for a bike ride. And I started thinking further about what's been different this year, July 24th, from last year to July 24th. July 24th, about the same time, I think I probably went on a bike ride also on that day, just because bike rides are part of my thing, right? But at this time last year, I was unemployed. I was driving DoorDash, trying to, cobble together some extra cash. I was taking whatever I could find, whatever kind of jobs I could find that were lined up in my area, and sometimes looking at ones that were outside my area. I had just barely agreed to start a new job, or was in the process of starting a new job. I can't remember exactly. I do remember the day that I started the new job. It was July 31st. So 7 days later, I was starting a new job, and I think it was right around the same time that I was making a decision. But we were in some pretty difficult situations. I'd been completely unemployed for 2 months. I had just finished a doctorate, and so I knew that I had student loans that I was going to have to repay. Granted, they were at a little bit lower rate because of some other things that we'd done. Financially, we were able to take advantage of some things. We also had been loaned some money during that period of unemployment. Been loaned an opportunity, given an opportunity to take a loan to try and keep things together. But the money for that was running out. And I'd blown up two cars. Actually, I blew up one. My daughter blew up the other. Anyway, we were in a pretty tough spot. Financially, things were really difficult. I was still struggling with a pretty significant bout of depression, and things were hard. This year, after having worked for this new company, Odyssey House, for the last year, they like me. I like them. We're still happy with the job arrangement. I've got a good team that I work with. We do a lot of good things. We do a lot of good things for a lot of people. In addition, I am teaching at another organization. So I've got two jobs, not just one. We've been able to position some things financially. We're not out of the woods yet, but we're good enough that we're keeping things under control and making some distance on our debt and trying to turn things around. And I thought, what a wonderful place to be. Not only that, but I mean, even if all of that wasn't in place, as I was riding my bike, I thought to myself, I'm not worried about. I'm not worried for my life. Yeah, sometimes there are people that want to throw things at me while I'm riding my bike, or they want to yell at me. They honk their horns. They do some kind of unkind things. But for the most part, I don't worry about my safety while I ride. I don't worry about my family's safety while I'm away from them. I don't worry about being in a situation where every second is a possibility that I might lose my life. I live in some pretty blessed circumstances. And I know it's not the same for everybody all around the world, but in my case, I've got some really cool stuff, some really wonderful things that are part of my life. And I was overwhelmed with gratitude. And I had to ask myself, that sense of gratitude, where did it start for me? Well, it started for me even before all of this stuff was going on. It started for me when we were in the midst of the depression, when I was in the midst of all of the difficulties. I became very grateful for supportive friends. I became very grateful for supportive family. I became very grateful for the fact that we had the ability to try and cobble some things together and hustle in an environment that would respect the hustle enough that we could get things going. It wasn't easy, and it turned out to be that it's still not easy, but it's pretty awesome. I guess as I thought more and more about that gratitude, I became overwhelmed with what I wanted to share as I restart the Daily 180. The idea of gratitude as a cornerstone for perhaps what can be a joyful, a peaceful, and maybe even a more successful life. I hope that's something worth thinking about for you as we restart this journey together. Hey, and as I say, restarting the journey, uh, we're going to try and do some new things with the Daily 180. We're going to try and I want us to grow as a community. Right now, we're a community of about 100 listeners. I would love it if we could get to the point where we were a community of about 1,000 listeners in the next 5 or 6 months. So be watching for some opportunities to talk about this. And by all means, if this has been something that has been useful for you, please share it with other people. Let's see if we can find some other people to join us on the journey. This has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Nulum Diem. We'll see you next time.